So thank you for joining us today. My name is Tamar Yaniv. I am the CMO at Intellivy, and I come from the world of Amazon CPG aggregators. So I worked for a company called Boosted Commerce before helping out Intellivy. And before that, I come from the startup world. I've been working as a marketer for about 15, 16 years. Oh my goodness. And joining me today is Peter Paul Mann, who I very affectionately refer to as the Intellivy scientist.
There
I've
you go.
I've never seen anyone more delighted with digging into research, experiments, really understanding the why behind consumer decision making. And it's pretty infectious. So I'm really happy that everyone joined us today is about to get a big contagious spread of consumer insights. So Peter Paul, I'll let you go ahead
Yeah, thank you for raising the bar for me. That's fine. So yeah, my name is Peter Paul Maan. I'm responsible for sales and partnerships at Intellivy, and indeed, I'm doing all the workshops and training and always diving into the tool and learning from consumers. My background is sales, so I'm doing that over 25 years in several roles, also being in management and very close to marketing. So that's why we're going to speak about market research today. And yeah, I'm really delighted to be here and good. Very nice. Very nice.
So now that we've had all the pleasantries out there, first of all, everyone who's here, thank you for joining us. Those who join us live are going to get a gift from Intellivy that is pretty awesome. You are going to get a coupon code for $100 towards an Intellivy poll, which can really do a lot because Intellivy is priced in a great way. So thank you for joining live. It was worth your while, and it will be worth your while. But now that we've been nice, let's get into the nitty-gritty of our split tests market research. This is a big conversation. This is some points of contention also for those like Peter Paul, who are market research scientists. And people have a misconception about split test and A/B testing. Peter Paul, can you help us unpack that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. So we named this webinar Beyond A versus B. And the reason is that the whole industry is talking about split testing. Everybody knows like we have to do split testing, but they think there's a big misunderstanding about what it is. Because if you're just comparing two items and I'm asking you, which item do you prefer? Then of course I get feedback. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is already contextual and that I can use that feedback or that information in the marketplace. So that's something we want to talk about today. We want to talk about, well, deeper experience done by bigger companies, by the way. Like what is market research? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So yeah.
And so often people get stuck with this A/B test and just this very binary way of approaching it. And as you mentioned, bigger companies like Procter and Gamble, for example, before they're launching a new shampoo brand, they aren't doing split testing. Maybe that's part of their research process, but they're doing deep dive consumer insights and market research. And for a company of that size and that caliber, they're investing maybe $200,000 around. For smaller companies doing 5 million revenue, we're looking at 20,000 and up. Intellivy is not priced in that
Yeah, I
strategy.
want to say, because I want to keep everybody around us, otherwise we push them away with those prices.
Like 20,000, goodbye.
Way lower price. So, but indeed, you know, it's like, I think marketing in the word itself, it says market getting. So it's getting the market. It's understanding your customer. And those bigger companies, what they do is like, what about the place? Let's say if they want to open a physical store, well, you speak about shampoo, but if they want to enter a market, it's even like culture. It's about demographics, about the position where that shampoo is being sold, price, competition, whatever. So all things come into place. And if I just look at what we are doing in Amazon, most of the time I see best practices, hacks. It's a rat race. It never ends. So if you're spending so much time in just, well, doing things to kind of get a better revenue today, and I get it, you know, you want to get the cost lower, you want to get more revenue, so I all get it. But really, just dive into the consumer's mind, learn what is driving the sale, and by that route, you will learn the process of TLC. That's how I named it, like tender love and care. You have like, and you already said it, like I'm passionate about it, and I am, because it's so funny. If you really start understanding the consumer and you start learning like, okay, wait a minute, if I'm doing this and I'm doing that, It's like this conversation we have right now. I'm
Yeah.
talking to you. I'm connecting, and you are
Right.
connecting with me. And
Yeah.
everybody who's watching, they will see that this is happening right now. So, and the same can happen if someone is entering the marketplace looking for your type of product because they're looking for a solution for a problem that they have.
And market research adds pixels to your picture. It's not just a black and white
Exactly.
binary picture.
I
So
like that, by the way, that you're saying pixels. It's all behind those pixels. It's
yeah.
like, what is happening behind pixels?
Mhm.
You need to
Absolutely.
know that. You need to
Absolutely.
know.
There's another phenomenon since I've been with Intellivy that I noticed so many Amazon sellers kind of become aware of the need for some kind of market research when they're at the growth phase. So they have a listing, they're trying to optimize the listing, they want to beat the competition because of whatever's happened. But that's really just one phase of the life cycle, the product life cycle, the brand life cycle. Can you break down a little bit the full opportunity for market research
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely. So we speak about three phases. So indeed, we have the growth hack. So this is all about learning how can you optimize the main listing you have right now. So how can you optimize your products that you have in your listings? But we also help you with, and it's all DIY. So it's a DIY platform. We guide you with easy steps. It's click, click, click. It's the way you say it, always like, I love that. But it's like new product development. That's what we do. So we can help you with new product development, but we can also help you with launch preparation. So in each stage that you might be, you can learn like, how can I do it the best way I can? And find that sweet spot. That's also important, by the way, finding that sweet spot. It's not just throwing it into the category
yeah.
and like all the browse nodes. No, no, no. You really need to understand like what browse nodes is the best to enter and how to get my offer well shiny as possible, like as best as possible, just to get to address the wants, needs, and desires of the consumers and get that click. That's what you want. And then of course get the sale.
So it's demystifying all of these phases where you tend to rely on maybe friends and family, maybe you do run a split test somewhere somehow, or maybe just your own intuition throughout all these phases about what will work
Yeah.
best. You're
But
like,
again, yeah. So beyond A versus B, you're already saying it. Let's say that you are testing in your family or with your friends, and you're doing a split test. Well, first of all, what are your two options and why did you even created those? Like really, why? So somehow you need to know what is the hypothesis, what is it that you're testing, and what is it even what you want to validate. And if you're just throwing out something, it's like spaghetti. I don't know, like why? You need to, so we call it like a scientific approach, like ideate, hypothesize, create, test and validate. It's a constant loop. And well, yeah.
it's really a more mature way of looking at your brand
I
and
think so, yes, but I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to
yeah.
say to the e-commerce public like, hey, listen, guys, you're not doing it right. But I think there's absolutely room for improvement.
Mhm.
Because just focusing on PPC or just focusing on the things that are hacks, like getting a badge or whatever, it's all come into place, and it's definitely true. It's part of it. We are using it for our own brands. We still do, but we start with getting that product aligned with the wants, needs, and desires of the consumer, like as it is in a physical store. I don't want to waste any minutes getting people in my store and not selling a thing.
No, of
Why
course.
should I do that?
You
Then
spend a lot of money to get people into your
and
digital
at the end
store.
of the day,
Expensive.
I
Yeah.
have to clean my floor. So
Mhm.
why? Doesn't
Absolutely.
make any sense.
Yeah, especially with the cost of operating on Amazon, the cost of getting the consumer to even look at your listing. You want to make
Yeah,
sure you're delivering.
yeah.
It's there's one more thing that you and I didn't understand the numbers behind this, but it's really a classical marketing way of approaching, selling anything is kind of segmenting your audience and understanding the different kinds of consumers or consumer behaviors. And you kind of divide it up into two main groups, one being needs-based. So I need to buy something. Here it is, XXX. click, 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 buy, right? And the
Exactly.
others, which are information gatherers, which
Yeah, exactly.
I'm guilty of doing both on a personal level, but it's very empowering way, I think, to understand what matters on when you're thinking about your
First
brand.
of all, I think you're not doing anything wrong if you're a need-based shopper. But I think whatever purchase you're doing for each consumer, we're all consumers, right? So we're not kind of individuals not being consumers. We are also consumers. And dopamine comes into place, but you just know, like, sometimes you know, like, this is what I want. And
Mhm.
it's you type in a very precise keyword, and the only thing that ends up is like, maybe I go to Walmart, maybe I go to Amazon, maybe I go to eBay. I'm just looking for the best deal, but I already know what I want.
Right.
But this is a smaller group. It's like 80%, 18%, so 1/8, 18% that is need-based shopping. And still, you need to address that group. You need to get them because, well, they are looking for your type of product, and sure, don't leave them without the sale. But the bigger group is like 40%. Those people are information gatherers. And you might not know that, but from a study, we learned that 52, so this is a different number, 52% of people who are using Amazon are using it for product sourcing. So there's, well, not sourcing, product exploration, like learning,
Yeah.
yeah, learning about the solution, like what is possible for my specific problem. And it makes sense, kind of, because if it
Yeah.
might be a replacement, it might be something new, you might heard of it, or you just have a specific problem right now, you have absolutely no clue how to solve it. So whatever happens, there's a journey starts with a demand, and the demand is growing. And market research companies, like in bigger scale, they are going in all the details, like creating different scenarios. Like, what if they come in this angle? What if they have this problem? What if they're whatever? I don't know. It's huge. And we can do the same, by the way. And we call that micro testing.
Okay, I want
But
to show the product. We've been talking about what the empowerment of Beyond A versus B. So let's dive in, Peter Paul. What do you
I'm
got
ready.
today?
Let's go
Show
for
us
it.
market research.
There we go. Yeah. So first off, we address that. So we have, it's all about what phase do you want to test. So if you enter our platform, you can simply choose in what phase you are and start choosing your objective. So you can say, like, say, I'm in growth hack, great. And then here you see something like counter drab. What the heck is that? Well, this is already one thing that is unique for us, for Intellivy. Counter drab is about learning the dominant reason that avoid buying. Now, if you choose that one, you can drab your listing so you can see why are your customers not buying your product. I'm just following this route, whatever route you choose. So even if you go for new product development, product feature testing, what gets the click? Each time we guide you to a specific poll. But let's go to the drab, so the purchase barrier poll. And I already mentioned that this is a unique. It's one of our uniques. And here you see that we are showing 90 respondents this type of product. So it's a beach blanket. And by the way, not sure if no, can I do that? Let's see. No, can I do
That's
that?
good.
Yeah. So, but this is the beach
Right hands
blanket.
to the beach, right? And a purchase barrier poll is what makes this so unique. What's special about this new poll?
What we do is we learn, like, we want to learn what are your objections. So what would be your reasons not to buy a beach blanket? So
Ah,
we show them this type of product. So here you see it. It's showing the image like it is on Amazon. It's showing the title, everything. Price and ratings are blurred because we are also saying here on top, besides the obvious review rate and price of a product. That doesn't matter. I just want to know, like, if you look at it, what would be a reason not to buy it? Now, then all the responses are down here. So this is each individual, right? I'm doing it quickly now, but there they are. But AI is generating a report. So you get a top 10 objections. And this is amazing because now you see that size and dimensions is important to people. And if I go down to specific feedback that someone is saying, it's like here. And by the way, if we speak about need-based shoppers and information gatherers, let's go to Amazon. Why not do it? And I search for beach blankets. There we have it, beach blankets. So this is what will happen. If I'm a consumer looking for a beach blanket, then this is what I see. I see a bunch of options. And well, okay. So what is in my mind? You have no idea. I'm not saying it. I'm just looking at it. So you have no clue what I'm thinking right now. But here you can start learning what people think. And here you see someone saying, I would hesitate to buy this based on its compact size. But why? Well, the material can never be thick enough to be comfortable based on the overall size and the fact it fits into a small carry bag.
Hey, go back up to the picture so we can see.
Exactly. Let's look at it. And indeed.
Oh, no, I get it. That makes sense. It makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another one is saying and down. So there was also a very interesting feedback. I felt like, oh, that's funny. Here, I hate ads like this where it has all the right buzzwords like absorbent and scent-free, blah, blah, blah. But then an impossible looking model. And indeed, if you just go to, yeah, well, you're already laughing. So, but indeed, if you just go here.
Yeah,
it's
everyone here has like a BMI of 1. Everyone here is very thin.
Exactly. It's models. So of course, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is bringing the message across if you're looking for a beach blanket. And by the way, I know from this poll that, for instance, well, I'm going to bring that to your attention later. Let's
we'll save it.
We'll see.
Got it.
But you see now that you get like a bunch of feedback from people, and we combine this in a top 10. And it's about color and design preferences, material quality, comfort, lack of information, etc.
So all the most important pieces of feedback are summarized.
Exactly.
You have the delight of digging into the details like we just did and really getting to understand your consumer, but you also have actionable, very clear summaries based on as well.
And probably now today we have a lack of time, but I really want to encourage you, like, get into the platform. I'm looking at those example reports. They're just in there. So it's there. You can just go for it and you can see it. So you can just dive into this to yourself. I can even share the results link of this specific poll, and we can drop it in the email. So everyone who's looking at it.
I love that. Would you guys like to see this and to just see an example? Is that interesting? Yes. You can let us know in the comments if that's interesting to you. Joseph O'Connell said brutal honesty, so you can avoid a lot of 2-star reviews. That's it. Like we were just talking about feedback. Feedback does not always feel good, but you know what? It's good for you.
Yeah, so I know there's a seller, Sean, is a good friend also, and he one day said to me like, "Oh, this is crazy! You can test the shit out of your listing," and indeed you can. But that's exactly what you can do. So you can really learn. But there's something more that I want to say. This is the part that I just skipped.
It's the pen.
Because I'm going to the item. This is the item. By the way, this is already beyond A versus B. I think everybody's seeing this right now. There's no B.
More than split test for sure.
No, this is before AB. So, but we start with a situation. So we frame each respondent in a specific situation, and you can create this yourself. As a seller, you create a situation like, imagine your old beach blankets worn out after years. Today you're on the hunt for a new one. Now, and this is funny because people are framing before they see the actual product. We ask them in Situation Insights, what are the most important product features you would look for? When?
So you set the stage, then you get feedback on the stage you set before you show the product. So you really make, you like tune, it's like a tuning fork. You make sure people are tuned with the goals.
Exactly. And let's say if I'm asking you, hey, imagine you are at a point to buy a new car. What would be important to you? And you say, well, it has to be a family car, 7 seats. Okay, great. Now I take you to the parking lot, and then all of a sudden you see different cars. There's no 7-seat in there. And I'm asking you, which car would you buy and why? Then you get already like...
I already told you.
And then those worlds are coming apart, because if you're just seeing like everybody's looking for a 7-seat, in this case, it's about a beach blanket and not about a car. But I know for sure that for instance, a few person was saying like it has to be a very outstanding color and it has to be big. So here you see, by the way, it has to be large. So this is someone saying very specifically, but the color should be like really bright. Because if I'm from a distance and the sun is reflecting in my eye and I cannot even see a thing, so I'm on the beach, I have to find my blanket.
I relate to that because I just have a bad sense of direction. So I can come out of the ocean and just be like,
well,
oh, there it is.
I want to use the time the most to get the best out of it. I hope everybody's still joining. Probably.
Yeah, everybody's here.
I also have to search for objections or whatever. So and fit with the wants, needs,
No,
and desires of the
it's
attendee.
very, I mean, and what we see also from this conversation is that there's always a why. There's a why, and then there's a but why, and there's a but why. So even we had
Absolutely.
beginning situational insights that you were setting, it's even,
Absolutely.
but why are we setting it that way? Like there's always another question, and it's really, it's more than just a tool, it's an approach to your business. It's adding
Definitely.
this scientific
And
approach, it's creating hypotheses, it's testing, which is
100%.
really how the big guys do it, and there's a reason.
So here you see it. It's like ideate, hypothesize, create, test, and validate. I already mentioned that. Like if you learn to counter objections, you learn to sell, you learn to pitch, everything comes into place. And you speak about why. I recently heard someone saying, it's a very common saying, but it's like if the why is big enough, the how is easy.
Very good.
And the same is for people who are buying stuff. But something about AI. So AI is generating a top 10. Here you see it, but it's also giving instructions, an idea. And this is interesting. Include a visual comparison next to common beach items like a beach ball. So size is important, but why not try a beach ball instead of a model?
So
And if you go
they're
to
offering recommendations. It's great.
exactly.
It's
So
great.
now, and if you go to the point where you say, okay, wait a minute. So let's say that that's my hypothesis. If I'm bringing a beach ball in the beach blanket and I place it in my main image, will that drive more clicks? So will people rather buy mine than others? Now, if you come to that question, you're looking at a marketplace poll. So then all of a sudden, again, we are starting with the situation. So in this case, it's about a coffee mug. So we're shifting now. Now we're drinking coffee on the beach. But you're on the road a lot and you would like to take your coffee with you wherever you go, for instance, to the beach. And here we ask 150 people, again, situation insights, what is important to you? What feature would be important to you? And if I just scan these condensed words, because it's all counted here, then I see like coffee. No, it doesn't matter that much. Cup, of course, it's a coffee mug, yeah, keep. Oh, fit. What about fit? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So then I see fit, universal fit, insulated, fits in my cup holder, fits, whatever. So it has to fit. It's important that it fits in a cup holder. If I'm traveling and I'm looking for a travel mug, it has to fit in my cup holder. Okay, but back to the beach blanket.
But this is why, if I may interject, this is why this approach is important from the ideation stage, right? Like not optimizing your listing, because you want to make sure you have that product market fit, that you're answering the needs, wants, and desires of your target market, and that you've hit all the check boxes. That's why
exactly what I'm saying. And that those check boxes, you need to know those check boxes, because it's not necessarily about finding a winner in a poll. It's about testing and validating certain hypotheses. So I'm changing from the beach blanket to coffee mug right now. But if I'm just looking at this and I'm looking at this image, and then I think of the days in 2014 when we started as an Amazon seller, we had 1 day a week. We called that Amazon gazing. So the task was, and Mel's our CEO, he said, like, that's the task for today, Amazon gazing. Just look at the listing as a consumer, try to catch the brain of a consumer and try to figure out, why would someone buy another product over yours? If I look at this one, and now I'm not, maybe we can do it like people can shout something in the chat, type something down. Why is this one winning? So you see, I'm not saying what you see. It's all up to you guys. Everybody's watching. And I hope it's big enough. I will make it bigger. And then probably you will say, show me the other options.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Here one. So what might be reasons? And I cannot see the comments. Maybe you can see some.
Yes, I can see. Does anyone have any ideas as to why that's the winner? Amanda says it shows everything that comes with it. I agree with Amanda. Shows the box for scale from Johnny Berger. That's also a really great point.
Exactly.
It looks like it's in a cup holder, Heather. And she likes the lid. I also like the lid.
Yeah, so this is beautiful. So, but indeed, I also hear very often like, oh, you have 65,000 reviews. Like, wait a minute, this is amazing. And the box and the accessories, everything comes into place. But now we are tapping into the things that we already know. And I'm not saying this to be offensive or something like that, but this is best
We're not
practices.
offended. We're here for feedback, Peter Paul.
No, but this is best practices, because everybody knows, like, if you have the opportunity to place a box in there, do it. And if you have some features that comes with the product, do it.
Right.
But now you need to know, like, wait a minute, if I go to, so let's make the screen a little bit smaller. Let's go to the poll insights. So now we are looking at the moment, and I just had the parable with the parking lot. So now we are seeing, like, which one would you choose and why? And B is winning, so B is 81 votes. First off, if I'm clicking on B, I can see that C is crushed. So if you have C, you have a problem. You really have, because it's destroyed completely.
Yeah.
The other competitors are doing fine, but D is also not so bad, not so good. I already know why. It does not fit in a cup holder.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a big decision-making point.
But we are tapping into B, that's the winner. Now let's see if I go to the positive answers, and by the way, it's all contextual. So here you see demographics, a male 30 between 50 or female 30-50. This is the negative, so I don't like that one, but I do like that one. So she likes B or he likes B. And what I see now is that everybody's saying almost 98 times it fits. It fits in a cup holder. So the dominant reason that people are choosing this one, so this is the decision driver, it fits. So whatever you bring beside that, so I don't know. And if you want to know about the box, so we place the packaging in there. Let's see. Packaging. Is it doing anything? Nope. Maybe the box. Oh, okay. Yeah, 2 times. Attractive font on the box. Okay, fine, but it's not that much. So now I'm counting hypothesis. So if I go back to the beach blanket, and let's say I'm testing.
It also gives you statistical significance, right? I understand how many people. It's not just an isolated anomaly of one weird opinion. You can see.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I want to make. If you say to your design team, okay, based on the insights, we want to try to add a beach ball to the beach blanket, and you do a marketplace poll, you see the product side by side, and you see yours is winning. Let's say it's winning. Beautiful. But then still tap into the insights and look for the beach ball. Is it coming across or not? And sometimes it's not, so then it's difficult. So then still they find it appealing, but they're not mentioning the beach ball. But then still you need to understand, maybe sometimes you see it in the contextual region. So for instance, here, this would never fit. And if someone is saying here, I like it because of the box, then still, you know, based on the negative feedback,
it's still in their mind. It's still this decision-making process.
It's coming together, and you see it like an actual conversation that you have with your consumer, and they are telling you what to do.
Yeah, I love this. We're right on time right now.
Beautiful.
So I want to thank everyone. We're going to end on a high note, on an exciting note. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. The same way that we're encouraging you to get feedback from your consumers, we love feedback as well. Please share with us if you have additional questions, or you want to hear another webinar about a different topic, or dive into a specific poll or something specific for your business. Let us know. I'm hearing some great feedback on here already. Don't be shy with the bad feedback. You can email us from the webinar invite, and please keep your eyes open for your inbox. That coupon is on its way to you, and we'll also share the link with you in the email as well.
Yeah, the link to the info page. I can share them with them.
And it's been such a pleasure. Please stay tuned. We'll have some more great webinars coming your way, and we're so happy that everyone was able to join us. Take care.
Thank you very much for joining.